I knew at Olympic trials there was going to be another camp, because Betty Okino and Michelle Campy were not at trials.
Mm-hmm.
So we were aware of that, and we were aware that we had to be, in the top 6 to be able to make that. So because it was, the Caroli's girls were together. Shannon, I don't know who she roomed with. I always ended up rooming and hanging with Kim Kelly. So the whole time, we were together and all that. So we didn't have a doubt that we were going to be on the team. We thought that it was up to Betty and Michelle, and one of them had to prove themselves to be on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So we did our meet, and we both felt great.
Yeah, good.
We both had, I mean, I know people say I was at my gym, but I was at my gym. But I still had to hit my routines. And it wasn't until so it was we were all staying at hotels, and then they had their meeting, and each of the coaches had a vote for how many kids they had there. So Bella had Kim, Carrie, Betty, and then Michelle he also had connections with Michelle because of her coach. So he technically had 4 coaches, or 4. So he picked the team technically.
Right.
Rita had 1. Kim's coach had 1.
How does that make any sense? I'm sorry to, it's just, do we just chalk it up to 1992? I mean,
I think they probably thought it was fair until they realized it wasn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, between me and Kim, she had beat me pretty much all year, so, so for me to be put on the team, everybody was like, well, why was she kicked off the team and I wasn't kicked off the team? And I mean, it just was like, I got a lucky vote, in that sense, because I thought we both should have been on the team. Right. Not saying that, Betty or Michelle shouldn't have been on the team, but in our head, we just thought that they were both, they were trying for that spot because they didn't compete in the meet. So one of, and I don't know if we were just not told all the information or we didn't listen to it all. I don't really know, but whatever it was just, and back then again, we didn't have all this technology. So I ended up, Rita had, called me and said that they made the votes and I had made the team and Kim didn't. And she wanted me to leave because they were going to go tell Kim, and she didn't want me to be there because I would have been in the room and it would have just been weird, And so I went back to Orlando to start packing, and I never saw her again. I never saw Kim again. I didn't talk to her again until probably maybe about 8 years ago. I contacted her through Facebook, and I was just like, what happened to her was really not like, just in a bad situation. Again, like, I don't want to take away what the other girls did, because I mean, I love them all, so, but I feel like, she just never really got the recognition that she should have. Mm-hmm. And, it was a really crappy way of doing it. However, they seemed to not learn from that and then repeated that again, like, with Vanessa and like all those other ones that, right. And I was lucky enough to be on this side of it, to where I could not imagine doing everything and just not being voted on.
Right. Right.
So, when people talk about the Olympics, it's like everything just has to align. Yeah. And it just has to go your way, and you peak at the right time. And it's just, it's, I mean, just the stars aligned, and I happened to be on the right side of it.
And a lot of uncontrollables. I mean, like, look at your vault, look at your compulsory floor.
9-6, right?
No, but it shouldn't have been.
I finished my full turn in releve and
Sure.
held it. Like, now I'm gonna go. I'm like, I think it was a 9-6. I was like,
Okay, so what if you actually did have 4/10 in deductions? Then what?
I'm like, so I watched that routine, and I think the only thing I can think of is I jumped a little back after my full into the like kick. Like I have a little scoop back.
Dare you?
So it would have been like a 9-9. So
Yeah, that's frustrating.
it's okay. I think it's, the funny thing is that judges and gymnastics lovers know my routines were underscored. Like some of my routines were underscored.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just look at placements and medals and are, you know, kind of are like, oh, she wasn't that good. And it's like, okay, well, some events I wasn't as good as others, especially like Daniela Silvas. You watch like her beam routine and mine, and it's just like, you know, you watch like her execution.
You watch her beam routine in anybody's, and it's going to be, you know, on another planet.
And you're like, I'm just trying to do a 180 split here, girl. Like, give me a break. I know my limitations, but like, you know, there were some things that I did well and don't think I got. Even bars, I thought I did a pretty good bar routine and didn't get credit on that either. Vault, I thought too. So, I mean, but I think that if you go back and you actually like watch, like rejudge my routines on a clean slate and just judge them, like, I think I was underscored a lot.
You should submit those to mygymjudge.com. I hear they do great work over there.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. But it has to be, it's a 10-0 start value.
Yep.
And
Oh
I'll
yeah, we
take
could
them.
judge
1992 rules.
All right, we'll look out for it. All right, thank you for delving into that one. I know it's can feel a little heavy. Okay, so we've got one more that we're going to finish on here. This is a fun one, I think.
Oh, am I going to fall a lot?